All right, so there's 3 boxes left. And I don't know. I'm thinking this might have to be a couple videos. Mostly because this one here is a lot of loose records, and that's going to take a while. This one's already bored. So, I'll start with the one that's up on top. And this is right now part 3. Part 3 of who knows how many. I'll start by pulling out, oh my gosh. All right, well, there's some LPs in this batch. This was a Glenn Miller album. I'm gonna doubt that there's any Glenn Miller left. I'm gonna hope that this is actually what's in there. I wonder if this is a volume 1. I can't quite see through it, but that's entirely taped over. Here is a batch that says Glenn Miller and Orchestra to Andre Musette. What else? There's a Wrecked album full of some Canadian Victors and Columbias, and then another one of these. What is this thing? Another one of these. I don't know, magazine rack things full of records. I'll stick this on the side. All right. Well, let's see what we have. Perhaps I'll start first with this one that says something Musette to Johnny Ray and Ray Conniff. I don't know. Can you tell what that says? I'll probably tell on here. Oh, Glahe Musette Orchestra. Okay. So we've got some Jitterbug Polka. This is a V754. That's usually Victor's international designation. Don't Tease Me, Leon Stenier. Again, not much into polka music. This does not have the VE on it, so this is pre-orthophonic. I'm going to keep these out of this album, then I'll throw them back in after. Nat King Cole. This is a sort of rough record. The Sand and the Sea and Darling, Je vous aime beaucoup. And Tony Pastor and his orchestra, Bell-Bottom Trousers and 5 Salted Peanuts. And all right, Mario Perry, Beautiful Days, Sharpshooter's March. Peterson's Hobo Orchestra, From Frisco to Cape Cod Waltz, and Submarine Waltz. I do not know Peterson's Hobo Orchestra, but I feel like I should. All right, here's that band of the HM Coldstream Guards again. This time they're working My Boy Willie, Dumbarton's drums, We'll Gang No Man to Uton, the Queen's Regimental March Band. Interesting. Pipe band of the 2nd Battalion, Queen's Own, Cameron Highlanders. Oh, that's cool. March Past of Highland Regiments. Brubeck of Darnville, Cock of the North, Pipe Band, 2nd Battalion, Queen's Own, Cameron Highlanders. That is cool. I will put that with my entire pipe band collection. Oh, look at this. Highland Scottish, directed by Pipe Major J.B. Robertson. We've got some of those. Pipes and drums of the 2nd Battalion Scots Guards. And also the Eightsome Reel, pipes and drums of the 2nd Battalion. Interesting. Cool. I do like me some pipe band records, and it's a good thing because here's Dr. MacLeod of Alnwick and the Mallorca March, pipes and drums. I actually think I have this one. I think this was a fairly popular record. I may even have a Canadian pressing, but not one that looks as unplayed as this. A record by the Platters. I love the Platters. You'll never know. And it's a Canadian pressing. Mercury. Make That Trombone Laugh. And Alexandria by Harry Raderman's Jazz Orchestra. On OK. Early OK. And You Don't Owe Me a Thing, Johnny Ray and Ray Conniff. And Look Homeward, Angel. Can't tell. I think that's cool. Canadian. Not that it matters that much. So I'm just going to slide these back in here. Well, this was quite a grab bag. Certainly not a lot of pipe band records, which is cool. Not the usual mix of Canadian decas that have been in the 2 previous videos. So I guess pipe bands and Bing Crosby and Andrews Sisters, right? And whatever is left in between. It is always interesting to see a person's record collection. I like to hope that this was a collection that was kept by someone and not just amassed over time by someone who globbed onto a bunch of 78s, because it's just interesting to see what people chose to listen to. I've got one empty spot. Here we go. All right. Now we've got this, Glenn Miller and Orchestra. Glenn Miller and Orchestra. Okay. There's a bit of cat hair on these because there was a few cats. And I went to get this. Oh boy, this record album is falling apart. And they're not joking. Here is Glenn Miller, RCA Victor Moonlight Cocktail. This is an American pressing. The Mills Brothers. Oh, back to some Columbia. Why do I keep saying Columbia? Canadian decas. I wish I knew the name. Mills Brothers. Mills Brothers Paper Doll. Mills Brothers Someone Cares. Guy Mitchell with Ray Conniff, Singing the Blues. That is probably at least bluesy as you can get. Vaughn Monroe and his orchestra, Rum and Coca-Cola. We actually had Andrews Sisters recording of that one earlier. This is Vaughn Monroe with the Norton Sisters and Rosemary Calvin. Oh, there's a little chip in it too. I can feel it with my finger. We have Vaughn Monroe singing Kokomo, Indiana. Here's a Canadian Victor, the Fillmore 4. My dreams are getting better all the time. Well, I'm glad. Noro Morales and his orchestra, Cuban Mambo. Bye Bye Blackbird, Russ Morgan and his orchestra. Burning Cheeks, another V series, V195. By Rene Musette Orchestra. Andre Musette Orchestra, Come and Get It, V795. And that is that album. On this album that used to be Esquire's All American Hot Jazz, probably version 1, or volume 1, is now Henri Rene and his Musette Orchestra, Kopaka Polka. That is too bad. The Rain Polka. That is too bad. Indian Summer by Jan Savitt and his orchestra. That's not terrible. Columbia Green Labels. Laughing on the Outside. Dinah Shore. Look what could have been in there. This is what could have been in this album. Instead, it was that. There was no Teddy Wilson. There was no... Oh, this is a volume 2 also. Well, let's see if volume 2 really has a volume 2. Because I'd be interested in a Canadian version of this. Fingers crossed. I see lots of tape. No! Dinah Shore. The Matador. Frank Sinatra. How cute can you be? Not cute enough. Ethel Smith. Oh, this is the worst. Dick Todd. Yeah. And a Canadian Bluebird. Maria Elena. Well, if that doesn't punch you right in the gut. All right. I mean, not that it was, not super collectible or anything, but it would have been more fun to listen to than what's actually in there. All right, so instead of Glenn Miller, we get the Victor Military Band. The Kazans Go Rolling Along, and the Marines Hymn. We get Fats Waller and his rhythm. There'll be some changes made. Okay, well, I'll stick that with the other section. That'll be better. You stayed away too long. You get Harold White and his orchestra. I'll Never Have to Dream Again. And nothing. All right, that's what happens when you pick up a big box of stuff for free. You maybe get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 listenables and then a lot of stuff that needs donating. All right, I was not expecting there to be any LPs in here. Songs we sang on the Andy Williams Show, the Osmond Brothers. Okay, you folks who are slightly older age than I, which one of these is Donnie? Is he even one of these? Or was he the younger one who came along after and made the other ones mad? Yeah, I don't know. I'm imagining that this little line right here, well, I think that'd be cat pee. Doesn't smell it, but that would be my guess. The Beatles, second album. A little cat hair here. Most people would be excited to find a Beatles record. However, that is not supposed to happen. I wonder if it even is a Beatles record hiding inside there. Okay. It is. And it's in surprisingly good shape. All right. Roll Over Beethoven. Thank you, girl. You really got a hold of me. Dough in the Heart. Money. You can't do that. Boy, this is really their early stuff when they were just playing whatever was around. Long Tall Sally. Please, Mr. Postman. She Loves You. Okay, well, they had some of their stuff on here. Yeah, that one's rough. I mean, I could probably fix that cover a bit, and it's not really worth it. That is a rough one. It's even got the little mark in it like it wasn't sold. I don't know. And what is this? Classic Rags and Ragtime Songs. Oh. Is that U.B. Blake? Scott Joplin. No. I'll listen to it. I do have a huge vinyl collection. It's just not as much fun looking for vinyl anymore. Seems like everyone's basically found everything. What is this? A 12-inch RCA Victor Canadian sleeve. Oh, I'll have to see if I can find a 12-inch cane to go with it. Tchaikovsky Pathétique Symphony No. 6 in B minor. And this is empty. You know what? I just like the cover of this. I might take off the cover, use those sleeves for something else, and make some art out of that. Hang that up on my wall. All right, and now we've got a batch of loose, a bunch of loose stuff in here. I don't know what's happening. What is this? The Beatles perform in the Ed Sullivan Show. I don't know why somebody put this in a... Huh? All right. Interesting. I'll stick that back in the box. All right. Columbia Green Label. Merrick Weber and his orchestra. Schubert Melodies. If you want it, it's all yours. You just let me know. Polydor. This looks German. BIEM. I don't know if that's a whatever that is. Helmut Zacharias. It's even in a Polydor sleeve. Wiener Blut. My German's a little rusty. I'm pretty sure I only know... Oh my goodness, that has never been played. Which sometimes means that the record is no good. Here's another Beltona record. I really do have to put these all together. The Duchess of Athol's Slipper. Tim Wright and his band. River Cree Jig. Jackson's Bottle of Claret. Miss Milligan. That's cool. I actually can't wait to listen to this. I'm not going to be making any videos for a while because I'm going to be listening. I might actually make videos of me playing some of these. Mrs. Grant's Fancy Straspe. Tim Wright and his band. I'm going to have to research and find out who this Tim Wright is. The Machine Without Horses Jig. Hamish McIntosh. Cool. The Road to the Isles. Robert Wilson. Canadian RCA Victor. Afton Water. And it's actually in the sleeve that it belongs in. I'm going to leave that actually like that. An Eriskay Love Lilt. Robert Wilson tenor. Used Tramping Song. Rolling from Islay to Used. I actually don't know how this is pronounced. I don't know Gaelic. The Day We Went to Rothsay. Okay, so there's a bunch of this Robert Wilson. The Highland Men's Umbrella. Interesting. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research there. Here's another Bluebird record one. RCA Victor Bluebird. Down in the Glen, Robert Wilson. The Lassalori. Next one is Songs of Scotland. Love to find me some Jimmy Shans. I haven't seen any of those yet. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one in here. Westering Home. Gordon for Me. A lot of Scots-Irish stuff in here. Beautiful Dreamer. This is all Robert Wilson. My Love is Like a Red, Red Rose. And now we're getting into some American Victors. 18663, the Palace Trio. I'll See You in CUBA. And the Crocodile. Back when Cuba was a place that people wanted to go. I still would like to go. Swanee River Moon Medley. International Novelty Orchestra. And Do It Again, Paul Whiteman and his orchestra. strange Paul Whiteman splitting a record with another group. It's not the first. Paul Whiteman and his orchestra, My Mammy, in a Banner record sleeve. I definitely have some banners that I can put in here. In fact, there was one in the last video. Also, I found a Fletcher Henderson on Banner recently. Wayne King and his orchestra on a Canadian Victor from an album P70. This one will go. If someone is looking to fill that album and they're missing that record, it's all there. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Fred Waring and his Pennsylvanians. I actually have this record. Ugh. I was going to say, if this record is in better shape than the one I have, I'll swap them, but I do not think that is the case. I think it's just as rough. And the last two records, we have Gene Vincent and his Blue Caps, Blue Jean Bow, and Who Slapped John. All right, I'm always up for some 50s sort of rockabilly rock and rollia. And finally, Old New England Moon, Rudy Valley and his Connecticut Yankees. Canadian orthophonic. This one has a crack that runs very tight, but it is a crack. How come you do me like you do? Blue Foxtrot. That's too bad. I don't like seeing any records with cracks. I could probably stabilize that one. It'll probably be listenable with a few ticks, but I would not put that on anything modern. All right, that was, well, you know what? We'll do one more box, and for one more box will be this one that's full of pre-made albums, not albums that someone else put together. We've got some 10-inch LPs as well. We've got some of this stuff here. We got some of this stuff. I think a lot of this is gonna go. Can't be sure. Maybe not. Some of it looks kind of interesting. And then we've got another one of these small little folio things of records. All right, so what are we looking at here? One, lots of cat hair. I tell you, I'd feel bad if the person who I got this from saw this video, but there were a lot of cats and a lot of cat litter boxes, and they have walked all over the top of some of this stuff. I kept this outside for a bit because it smelled like cat litter. Cuban Rhythms, think that's what's in here? Music Craft. Yeah. Timbero la timba es mia. No kidding. Okay. This could be a very cool set. It needs a little dusting out. Yep, all the records are here. I hear too much crinkly stuff, so I'm going to clean this up before I do anything with it. Cuban Rhythms on Music Craft. That is cool. I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna look into that one, and if no one has posted anything, oh god, I think that's the sound of cat litter crunching. I will post some audio of some of this stuff. Sandy McFarlane, a selection of Scottish ballads and humorous songs. And is that what's in here? Yes, and it is Canadian. Sandy McFarlane, Granny's Highland Hame, McNabb's A Jolly Sailor, When the Heather Bells Are Bloomin', And a missing record. That's too bad. So what we have is an incomplete Canadian set of Decca. Sandy McFarlane. I'm not sure if I would hang on to that one anyway. I'm not really into that Harry Lauder stuff. Benevenuta, Record Gazette. Think that's what's in here? We'll find out. Benevenuta. When Francis Dances With Me. Benevenuta, Waltz Me Around Again, Willie. After the Ball. And it looks like this is a complete set. It's not a missing record in there. This will probably, I don't know, I mean, I'll look it up. This will probably go to a thrift store. Moanin' Low, Victor Musical Smart Set, Torch Songs by Lena Horne. What do you think the chances are that there's actual Lena Horne records in here? Well, there's one, Lena Horne. There's two, Stormy Weather, Lena Horne, Canadian Victor. And there's three, Lena Horne, Moanin' Low. All right. In a Canadian set. And actually, that cover looks rather nice. All right. That may actually be the very first Lena Horne I have 178 at all. Here's some Capitol 10-inch records. This one has an inner sleeve. I don't usually ever see that. This protective envelope is another example of the care used by Capitol to bring you records in ideal condition for the finest sound reproduction. Yeah, mine insert this end. Oh, that's funny. And I was just about to give them a hard time for putting it in the wrong way. Well, I will say it. This Capitol record is in exceptional shape. I'm just not sure the subject matter is anything that I care too much about. The Desert Song, featuring Gordon McRae and Lucille Norman. It's in impeccable shape. The cover, the record, the fact that it even still has an inner sleeve when so many people just threw all this stuff away. It's pretty cool. And that's, you know, it's lovely shape. I don't know, sometimes it's fun to put on sold stuff. This is actually pasted on here. Might to look like a picture frame, probably. I don't know. The Red Mill with Lucille Norman, Gordon McRae. Again, another inner sleeve. Which is very interesting. Put in the wrong way, of course. That record's in pretty decent shape. Looks like all one long song on that side. But I must insist on putting it in the proper way. I know. Love that artwork. I mean, that is, you know, just screams 1950s. Interesting. Okay. Oh, do I see some Bing Crosby, some Fred Astaire? Blue Skies, Paramount Technicolor production. Blue skies shining at me. Begin the Beacon. I don't think that is actually from this record. Got a little shot of the duo. This, I think, is just another random Bing Crosby record thrown in here. This is probably from here. Album A481. Serenade to an Old-Fashioned Girl. 10 sides, 5 records. I've got my captain working for me now, Bing Crosby. Featuring Blue Skies. Blue Skies. Bing Crosby. No Fred Astaire singing, all by myself. Yeah, so we're missing the first record in this set, or a record. I'll See You in Cuba. Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. A couple of songs and Dance Man. If you've never seen Fred Astaire, putting on the Ritz. If you've never seen Fred Astaire in the movie Ghost Story, you should check it out. Filmed in Vermont. Takes place, or filmed in Woodstock, Vermont. Bunch of old names. Douglas Fairbanks, I think, is in it. Super creepy movie. Ave Maria, choir of the Church of the Immaculate Conception with organ accompaniment. Guess how much this is going to get listened to? Yeah. No, well, I don't know. You know, maybe it'll sound old time Christmassy, something to throw on my automatic changer. I'm getting stuff all over me. Aloha Hawaii. Sonora Records presents Lonnie McIntyre and his Aloha Islanders. All right. Do we think that's what's in this? Sonora, Lanny McIntyre, Aloha Hawaii. Farewell to Thee. Yeah, looks like it is. Song of the Islands. Isle of Golden Dreams. All right. Not in the best of shape. I don't know what happened to that. Don't touch it. Columbia Records, I See a Harmonica. Larry Adler, Harmonica Virtuoso. This is an American pressing. I don't know. Unless he plays the harmonica like Stevie Wonder, I don't think I'm really going to care so much. I'll give it a listen. Always up for a listen. This is a complete set. It looks virtually unplayed. Everything about, right? If you play the harmonica and this kind of stuff gets you excited, you let me know. I'll probably send that right to you. The Desert Song, music by Sigmund Romberg, lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein and Otto Harbach. With Kitty Carlisle, Wilbur Evans, Felix Knight, Isaac Van Grove, and Jeffrey Alexander. I'm not really big into musical stuff. French military marching song. It looks like this one might be complete. Kitty Carlisle, Romance. It is complete. The finale, so it's out of order. One Flower in Your Garden. Oh, there's some stuff falling out. Oh, there's a program. Okay. Well, if anyone's into musicals, looks like someone got hungry. Took a little bite. I'll tuck that in the front. Oh, let's see what else. We've got the Robert Mitchell Boy Choir at Christmas time. The best choir in the world, Bing Crosby. How many people do you think thought that Bing Crosby was on this record set and then bought it? As featured in the Samuel Goldwyn production, starring Cary Grant, Loretta Young, David Nevin, The Bishop's Wife. Silent Night by the Robert Mitchell Boy Choir. Adeste Fidelis, Deck the Halls, Good King Wenceslas, Jingle Bells. It's only a 2-record set. And Ave Maria. Well, and they all got to have their picture taken with Bing. Alright, well, that'll probably go into my Christmas section. $2. 78 RPM. What do we have here? Getting Sentimental Over You, Carmen Caballero, piano solos. No, and that is what's actually in here. Oh, look at the grunge. I do not want that all over Stormy Weather. And it's missing a record. Perfect. Oh, it's kind of frustrating chasing down missing records from these sets. Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Evelyn Knight, and Ella Fitzgerald sing the song Hits from South Pacific, but this feels very light. Ella Fitzgerald. Happy talk. And I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. That's a good sign. Evelyn Knight, A Wonderful Guy. All right, so what album number is this? I wonder if the Bing Crosby one is A714. I bet it's mixed in somewhere. I could probably find that to complete it, but again, not really big with the musicals. But I do like to make things complete. Popular American Waltzes, Al Goodman and his orchestra. Well, that's what's in here. It would have been really cool if I opened this up and it was just full of, I don't know, Cab Calloway records. All right. I know which ones will be boxing up and going out. Clear off a little space here. Some grunge. Cat litter. This is the fun with. Oh, I think these are all. I don't know. What do I think these all are? 10-inch records? LPs? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm going to have to get some 10-inch plastic sleeves. I do like the artwork on some of these. And that is a Peter Pan record that looks like it has not been destroyed by some kid. Wow. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. All right. That is going to need some, I don't know, some flattening. I'm going to take care of that one. That's pretty cool. Gay 90s. Here we have a Decca LP. They mean the 1890s. Frank Luther and the Century Quartet. And it is a Canadian pressing. Well, this is in very nice shape, aside from the fact that it's broken through on the bottom. Strauss waltzes. Not super interested. Patrice Munsell, soprano, Arthur Fielder. Someone was a fan of Patrice Munsell. Wow, very nice shape. I guess if I find someone who is a fan, they might be happy with this. Is that really the same record twice? Or is there a part 1 and a part 2? These are the same 2 records. Same catalog number and everything. Well, if I find 2 people who are really interested in this person, both printed in Canada. This is a ratty bag. Robert Shaw Chorale, Sweet and Low. That record isn't actually even worth putting back in that ratty bag. Treasury of Immortal Performances. Enrico Caruso. RCA Red Seal. Like I said, into a 10-inch LP, 33 1/3. Not sure that those are them. And Fred Waring, harmonizing the old songs. Okay. Well, I think these will find their way to someone else's hand. All right, that was 2 boxes worth of stuff. I will save the final box for the final video. So check back in. I don't know what's in it, but there is a lot of singles in there. Thanks for joining me.